They put little stormtrooper helmets on the ducks in the common.
Oh, did they? That's
I
really
love that.
funny.
Nice.
All right, so I think it says that we're live. On my browser, it says, okay, it's actually live now, I think. So Sarah, you have a form to show us. We were going to focus our attention on language feedback now.
Yes, perfect. Let me share my screen. Make it full screen. Is everybody seeing the form? Okay, so I restructured that first page to make it very, very clear what this form does. So you'll see. So I went back and forth between, is this too much language or is this just enough language for people to understand what they can do? But essentially, there are 4 things you can do with this form. 4 things you can use this form to allow an authorized representative to do. Act as an application representative, and then I give kind of descriptions of what each thing is. I took a lot of this wording from the SNAP guide. There are very subtle differences between each thing. So that's why I didn't shorten the language too much, because the differences are so subtle that I was like, I feel like shortening this is somehow going to make like an application representative the same thing as like the authorized representative who can talk about your case. So I wanted to be as kind of careful as possible with my personal edits to make it as kind of clear as possible.
Hang on. Yeah. Report changes and talk about your case.
Very subtle differences between 1 and 3.
I might change the order of these if that is possible.
So it is the only, I went back and forth because this is the order that it shows up in the actual form. Like if you were going to sign the form, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I mean, I'm totally down to change it. I just wasn't sure if that was the kind of creative license I was allowed to take. Like if that is what, or if it's more so like, here is the form where I'm going to lay it out for you. Like I honestly am totally open.
Because I think human readability wise, it'd be much more clear if you could say like shop whatever, get money from your cash benefit account, then talk about your case, blah blah blah, would allow you to changes, talk about your case, and then 4, act as an application representative. They would be able to talk and do and report changes, and they would also be able to and that way make that like very clear, this is the subtle difference between these 2.
So do you think that so as I go through the form, when they actually are selecting which ones they want, like they
should be in this order, in the order that you choose on within this interview? It should be consistent order.
Do you think it would then be confusing when they go to look at the actual form? So let's say
the actual form have it? Sorry, I mean, does the actual form say those titles like act as application representative, or does it do some weird like numbering of just
let me see if I can just, I wish I could just jump forward. Hold on 1 second.
It'd be a good idea just in another tab, just bring up the form itself.
Oh yeah.
We could get to it from the playground, Sarah, if you go to templates folder. Or Trello, whatever way you're doing it.
Trello might be the quickest way. My only concern is confusing people.
I understand, but like I think that presentation needs to be made much more clear. That's the thing, is that if it was a borderline, if it was like, well, it's maybe a bit confusing but understandable, then sure. But this does not seem.
So this is how the 4. So if I were to, so right now these 1, 2, 3, 4 is in the same order. I guess, I mean, honestly, maybe it would not confuse somebody if they were like, okay, 1 and 3, but on this form it means 3 and 4. Like they actually would see the information pop up here. Unless, and I guess I could put these headings in.
Okay, so here
the headings might help.
So this is kind of important because SNAP benefits and cash benefits are 2 different kinds of benefits. So the DTA administers welfare, which is cash benefits, and food stamps, which is SNAP benefits. And so the reason this is divided up is because you may only be getting SNAP, or you may only, it's unlikely that you're getting TFDC and not getting SNAP. But it does make sense, given the way this form is do you need an authorized representative for, I mean, we have to think a little bit more about this, but overall, are you asking for somebody to talk to DTA about your food stamps case? Or are you asking somebody to talk to DTA about your welfare cash benefits case? That's what's happening with this form. That's why those two are divided up. And the distinction is for SNAP, that if you notice, that's for applying on behalf of the person or for the person. TFDC doesn't allow you, this form doesn't allow you to apply for the person. So basically, it's a one form catch-all, goes to different departments, in fact, as it were. So I think that's why we need to think a little bit about breaking it up. Do you need somebody to talk to DTA about your food stamps? Do you need somebody to talk to DTA about your
SNAP benefit? Your
SNAP is
TFDC.
Your welfare or your TFDC. Yeah. So I think maybe this would be where it would be helpful to talk to an SME to get it. But I think the distinction is not clear because the form is really breaking it up, right? So you're going to say, do you need an authorized representative for SNAP, for welfare, or both, right? And then what do you need the person to do? So rather than this form can do all these, I guess that's the thing is, but you could have something that's a little bit more generalized rather than this is the whole, rather than being really specific about the 4 different things.
So I think the way to summarize this is to say that the intro page doesn't need to help them understand everything and every detail the form is supposed to do. It's just supposed to say, do you think you're in the right place, right? Like, this is about food stamp. This is about having a representative for food stamps or for cash benefits. Is that what you're trying to do?
And also you want to explain, I think the key thing is the 2 different things is so essentially somebody can talk to DTA for you about your case. Somebody can apply to DTA for your case, and somebody can use your EBT card. Right, so you can get permission for somebody else to use your EBT card. The reason benefits people are saying that right now is they just call DT up and say, I want somebody to use the card, and they don't need any of that. But I think that's the key, is that if you want DTA to if you want somebody else to use your card, if you want somebody else to talk to DTA for you, that's what the form is for. And then you break it down. I think that's really what you're doing with the 4, and then you break it down to SNAP, TAFDC, and the other ways to do that. Because you could say SNAP, TAFDC, or both, right? So who do you might be able to do something like that. The other way is you could say, I want them to talk about my case. Yeah, you don't necessarily want them to use your card, but you may want them to be like an advocate. You might want an advocate to be able to talk to DTA on your case. So you could go, I think you could go either way.
But the intro page is just
general,
much less specific. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'll change the intro page. Maybe the way I'll do with the SNAP versus cash benefits is like a kind of a progressive disclosure, but it's all on the same page. So it's like, are you here to give somebody access to your SNAP benefits, cash benefits? If they click SNAP benefits, the 2 options pop up, cash benefits, 2 options pop up, but they can toggle back and forth.
I'd be inclined to do it the other way in terms of, do you need somebody to talk to DTA? I have to think about it because I'm doing it off the top of my head right now, and you've been thinking about it a lot. But do you need somebody to talk to DTA for you, or do you need somebody to use your EBT card?
Okay, got it.
And then when you break that down, then you can say they can apply for you for SNAP, or for TFDC, they can just talk to you. Have to apply, but they'll talk to TFDC. And then with all of these, you can say one, the other, or both, right? Make those be radio buttons, I think, probably.
Well, you
And
can
then
make them
something
check if you make
to
them
make
check.
sure to change, Sarah, is if you see here, you have as your title, choose someone as a food benefits representative. Make sure to make that more expansive.
Gotcha. So just that's the thing, like
SNAP.
Cash. Okay, cash or SNAP benefit representative.
So
okay.
I want to say you don't need radio buttons if you make them check boxes, because then they can select as many as they want.
Well, there are only 3. There's one, the other, or both.
So you can select either SNAP or cash benefits, or check both of them off, and then you don't have one, the other.
Oh,
or
I
both.
see what you're
Just have
saying.
all. You can do whatever.
Yeah,
you
just
want,
do
right?
2 check buttons. Yeah.
Check boxes.
Yeah, maybe that's not check buttons. Check boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I can definitely.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And so it's more screen. I think you do more screens, not have it all on the same screen with stuff opening up all over the place, because it's not a whole lot more screens. I would do another screen for it, for some of these. Break them up into screens.
I guess.
Well, so let's wait till later to see what the questions look like, because that was just the intro screen. So we'll see how they're broken up now and see what we think of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is, I was just putting in my contact information. So this was another change that I made. Do you know your DTA agency ID? This is what's listed on all DTA notices. I got this language. So if you do know it, you submit the agency ID. If you don't know it, provide the last 4 digits of your social security number. If you go to put in more, tells you have to put in 4 characters. Great, a security measure there.
So if we're doing language, if you go back to that previous one, so the question is, do you know your DTA? I would do, instead of this, first of all, it wouldn't be this would be listed. It is listed on all your DTA notices. And don't put it in parentheses. And the other thing, what you might do is you can do a little question mark. You do a help on the field label. And so if people want to know what a DTA, where they could find it, they could click on the question mark, and then that would come up for them. Then you don't have so much text on the page.
Gotcha. I can do that.
Also,
and again, you don't want to say please provide. You say what are the last 4 digits of your social security,
or just last 4 digits.
Or last 4, yeah, right. And one more thing is that 4, you can write the and again, when your first screen is write the number, put in the number 4 rather than write out the word.
And take out the word please. And change the word
Caroline's
provide to
Michelle,
give.
we just said that, because we could just say last 4.
Sorry.
Last 4 of your social security.
Okay.
We're missing a heading here. Do we want a heading? Do we want to leave it without a heading?
So yeah, it's because it was like DTA or last 4 digits. I don't know. Like I could make the heading like, agency ID or last 4 of social security, but I don't know if that's weird to then ask, like, do you know your agency ID?
Could you just say verification? Could you just call it verification or ID?
Yeah.
I mean, not verification or ID. What I mean is, could you call it ID? You could call it verification.
Maybe
you could say help DTA. You could say help DTA find your case.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, you could actually do regular English about what you're doing in this page. I mean, it might not be your case, but help DTA identify you or something like that.
Okay.
And then then you're just saying what's your DTA agency ID.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else before I go to the next page? So this is asking who the authorized representative is going to be.
Okay, I'll stop you right there.
Yes.
Right? You just explained to us what this question is.
Yes.
Right? And you said who the authorized representative is going to be. I think that's an easier question to read than what's the name of the person you're requesting. You see what I mean? When you talk, that's always a default with plain language. If you would say it differently from the way you would write it, then go with the way you'd say it first.
Gotcha. Okay, so I can change that. And I do a reminder that only one person will be on this form. Does that look okay to everybody?
Maybe you could say, who do you want DTA to be your who do you want to be your authorized representative? You could just say that. Or need. We also ask, I think it's good to use the word need instead of want.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
I might drop the as a reminder.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, that's passive voice. So if you can say, you can only name one person on this form.
Gotcha.
And also we talked last time about saying you can fill out another form if you want another person.
Mm-hmm.
The other I was going to suggest, like, I don't know how hard it would be to add a link to the, like just have like a link that's like, you may like, but this person may have or only one person can be named. You can fill out another form and then have like a link in there that starts a new interview. So they could just like if they want to, they can like, you could just like, it's very like, as long as you can make it clear that like, this is like, if you want to do open another one, start another one right away, you can do that.
You could ask the question, how many authorized representatives do you need? And then if they say more than one, you say you need to fill out a form or you need to do an interview for each one. So finish this one. And then you could, when you get to the end of the interview, you could say, you said you wanted to do 3 authorized representatives. Now let's do the form for the next one. Then you start all over again.
I like that idea a lot better. Thanks. Good. Thanks.
I mean, so I guess my question there is like, would that carry over? It's like, okay, you said you want 3, now you have to do 2 more. But then when they open the new interview at the end, it won't know that you need to do 1 more.
I would say not for MVP.
Get ourselves into a loop.
Not for MVP. I think for a stretch goal, you can have 1 interview that will do those things.
Gotcha.
Right.
Cool. Okay, great.
Yeah, I would say it would be unrealistic to try to, it's due Friday, guys, just for context. So it'd be unrealistic to implement this feedback that we just got on the screen, other than changing the wording.
Yeah.
I still think it's good to identify MVP.
But it's still good to write
Well,
down.
she could do something at the end that says now fill out another form, right?
Yeah.
She could do, right? Yeah. So there could be at the last cut. So she could say how many, and then you could say you can only do 1 at a time. And then she could have that at the end. That would work.
Yeah.
You could do that for Friday. But Sarah, what you really ought to do for Friday is replace the PDF with the more recent one. That's my fault for giving you the wrong one in the first place.
That's okay. Okay, so this is where I will probably have the separate I think this is where we get into the kind of 2 separate headers for SNAP benefits, cash benefits. And then I have this in these help buttons.
This is right. Good.
But I'll do kind of separate, right? Like I'll do the 2 headings so that it kind of like mirrors how the form does it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where Caroline was suggesting splitting it up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Into multiple questions.
That's what she's saying, Michelle.
Yeah.
I thought she was saying into separate headings, and I was like, we weren't just talking about headings; we were talking about separate questions.
Yep.
Okay. Understood.
And then this is birth date. I can take out. It sounds like.
That's
just double check that second form, because remember the one where I looked on the form and I didn't see the problematic fields. Because I think the question was you weren't sure if it was the birth date of the representative or the birth date of the signer. Yeah.
Also, I was going to say on these last few pages, I think instead of saying the representative, their name at this point, right? So you should just be able to use their name instead.
Right.
Especially because that would help, especially if they're trying to fill out multiple forms and they don't remember which one they're on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
And we don't use the only punctuation we use at the end in a question is a question mark. So that you can take the period out of there.
And the other style guide thing we have is to keep that so it's usually just 1 line across on a normal width screen. So think about if there's ways to shorten the heading.
So you could say, tell us about, and then the person, right?
Well, it could just be about information about the person's name. That would be short.
Gotcha.
But if it's leaving out important information, you don't feel like you have to make it more confusing to get it short, but it's just our usual tendency is to keep it to one line.
Yeah. And also, just in thinking of the voice, we don't need to know that information. DTA needs to know it, right? Just as you're going through the interview, it's not for us; it's for DTA.
Got it. Okay. Anything else on these fields before I press next?
I think you can just put address and phone number, and I think that address. Can you do? Is that address the autocomplete address? Did it
This
fill
isn't.
in by?
I have to put in as the autocomplete. But it isn't right now.
Because then you're gonna want the full address, I think, and then put it into one line in the PDF.
Okay. So the next. This hasn't changed.
The standard.
I just want to make sure we get to the last page because I tried to.
I like your signature.
Thanks. I feel like it's unreadable. Okay, so I tried to basically be like, okay, like because I only have one signature. So, but the authorized representative needs to sign it. So I kind of wanted to be like, you can either print it and have them sign it in person, or you can email it to them here because this is already a function. But I couldn't figure out how to like make this not bold. I don't know. And then I couldn't figure out.
Well, you can put that in the sub question instead of putting it in the table with the document, right? That's supposed to be the document's title.
So
usually it's only one line across, but we don't restrict it. But yeah, that whole bold section there is
just
longer than usual.
Put it above make changes, right?
Okay, so that would be.
Or just yeah.
So you can search for the ID there.
It's up at the top, isn't it?
Yeah, right here, right?
That's another place to get it too.
Okay, so I would do a sub question. So I could do it all in the sub question. Okay, that makes sense because then I can do it. I wanted to do it in like a, there are 3 ways to send it in, like put like a numbered list, but I could not do it.
And then scroll down a little bit. You might have already realized that, but right there is where you edit the title.
Yeah.
It's this. Yes. It's going to be in your document twice because it's also in the metadata block, but this is the place you would change it to make the title be something that you want.
Gotcha. And this is where I would replace the file name.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, if you do it in a sub question, you can format it, and you try to take out please everywhere. You're not asking anybody anything, and you don't even have to say note, right? So I think is you still need your authorized. You still need Frankie to sign this form. You can email it to Frankie, print it, whatever. And then for your issues, Michelle came up with this amazing way where you can send if you know Frankie's email address, there's no way you can get this done by Friday, but there is a way to send it to Frankie, not as an email that they print out and sign and send, but you can actually, Frankie can sign electronically as well.
And that goes to, I feel like what we were looking at before, right? With like send this to somebody else to finish, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, similar, not quite. That's a little bit different because that's maybe an advocate would review the form for you, but this is just getting a signature.
Got it.
So, yeah. But I think if we, Michelle, what's it called? Is it called multi-signature? You're not little.
Very big.
It's very big. It needs to be before it can be added here, and it's kind of one of the things I'm trying to work up towards, making a more like
AL
multi-use, so making it into a module that you can actually reuse more easily. But the one Quentin set up before that does it in a pinch. Like it doesn't do the exact same stuff, but you can send a link to someone else to sign it. You just can't move forward until that person has signed it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like a great stretch goal.
Sarah, just put in your issues, for future, add multi-signature feature or something like that.
Yep. And this is not, so this is due, I'm just gonna stop sharing because I do have to run to a work meeting in 1 minute. This is not the end. This is due Friday, so I just want to get it there, but I'm off next week before the summer class, but I will be back to volunteer.
Oh, good.
So I'm not going to, this form
Awesome.
is not the end.
And you're here over the summer, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm
That's
taking
awesome.
classes this summer. So
That's
you won't see me
great.
next week because I'm taking a beautiful
great.
week off, my first week off since 2019. But I'll be back really fresh and ready to achieve these stretch goals.
And by the way,
That'd be
there's
awesome.
these meetings always have a lot of actionable points. And the most important thing is to say, I'm not going to stop these from letting me publish something.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest balance that we have tried to figure out.
Pick like, I mean, if you're one, just make the issues, and two, if you're going to act on any of the issues, pick like 2 or 3. Do those.
I think a lot of these, especially since
So
this
just
is about
like,
the language.
yeah.
I think we're in a
Yeah.
good spot. Okay, I'm going to jump off, but I will see you all. Well, Quentin, you'll get this form before Friday, but I will
All right.
see you all.
It's already looking in
in
great
2
shape.
weeks. Okay,
All right.
talk to you all soon. Thank you so much.
All right.
We can teach Tuesday each other if we have anything.
If you have something, Caroline, if not, I could show you all the bug that is driving me up the wall. It's not, I mean, y'all, it's
This is the regex
in
that we're talking
JavaScript.
about, right?
It's the regex. I'm just trying to spot like what the heck is going on, because it cannot be that it's interpreting regular expressions differently online. That's not how regular expressions work.
There are
but
multiple
Caroline,
kinds of regexes, but so that might be worth looking at.
no, it's it's all JavaScript. It's JavaScript, no JS. It's not a different language. So
I can do either one, Michelle. I can either talk to you later.
let's talk now then.
Well, no, it's this thing about the verb noun thing.
Sure. I mean, we can like try and troubleshoot it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but we can like, I can pull it up and we can just troubleshoot it here. GitHub, Suffolk, MA298, protective order, right?
Yeah.
So let me load it up
It's
into
like the 3rd issue down, I think. I think I put the question IDs in there where I'm using it. Maybe I should just try and find it.
what issue is that? Issue number. Issue number. It's on here, conjugate verb. Okay.
Does it have
67.
the questions in there? I thought I put them in.
Just 1 second.
See, ID 209A affidavit, what to include. That's an example.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I said I didn't commit my branch. I committed, I didn't do a PR on it. I'm pretty sure
okay. So which branch is this?
It'll be the one advocate improvements with which one? I think it's advocate improvements with intermediate variable.
Okay. All right, so I will share my screen and we will work through that. I think you've got the right one. Yeah. So let's look for page 2. And we've got.
So I think that's where where it would come from. So children as noun, because we have various children, right? There's all different types of children.
So did verb is not in here.
No, it's not going to be in there. So this is what I'm telling you, is that at some point, all the various children that go into page 2 are joined together, but there are 2 different types of children. There's children of the minor children of the plaintiff, and there's children that the plaintiff is responsible for.
So I need some place to test this.
It is in the affidavit, 298 affidavit. That's the only place I see did verb was used.
Yeah.
Okay. The affidavit shouldn't take too long to get to.
only
Children
one.
as noun.
You mean you're going to run
children
it?
did
You mean,
verb.
is that what you mean you're going to run it?
Yeah,
When you,
because you gotta like
yeah.
see.
No, just double
So-
checking. Yeah.
So the thing is that children should be the collection of all of them. So that should be correct. There should not
Right.
be a different variable that you need to use.
Yeah,
I'm
that works.
wondering, but children, so children as noun works, but children did verb. Are you sure it's not meant to be children did verb? Did, are? Was? Because isn't it supposed to be
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe I just did that wrong. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Were.
like what
Yeah.
is the word you're supposed to use in there? Because it can't account. Maybe it does
Well,
account for
a child is, children are. A child was, children were.
are. Well, we'll try
Right.
are. And
Well,
all right, I need
okay.
package
Let's look at did
as
verb,
well. You know, where's the documentation for?
That's
for
what I was just
did
going to look
verb,
at
yeah.
because I think that's
How do I search in here
for what?
for a function or method? Is
I
there
would
a
just
way?
jump to the documentation, click the view documentation button, and it's going to go under objects.
Okay. Singular or plural form, depending on what. So verb past. Verb past is not in here. Maybe it'll be with verb present. Verb past. And the verb.
Why don't we just experiment? Let's see.
Helped. Yeah.
There are a
I
lot of
think-
these functions where it would be like really nice if you could use them without having to be part of a list. But
Yeah. It doesn't say that it has to be in present tense, but if it is meant for plural and singular, I bet it is because it could possibly be are, but the like default simplest case is a singular person who is it's gonna take 209A. How I hate the
I think that
and
is
love the, of
right.
course.
What did you say, Quentin?
I think that's right, actually. Yeah. So verb past, if you conjugate is, you get was for singular.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it were plural, let's try that.
Okay.
No, go back, say no, because that works. You want to make sure you don't have any children together.
But
No, this is what you know, you don't have any children together, but no, say no. And then you say yes. Oh, here you say yes.
you know what? I'll do the minimum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
want a
that
different
does
name?
it. Wo-
Oh, you just have to
Did
put
verb
in is.
works. Yeah.
All right.
How
I
did
just
you
did a
do it?
little-
You have something that skips it, or you did a little test thing?
I just did a little test. I'll show.
Cheater.
Well,
Um,
well, that's really helpful because it's not as if the children isn't collecting in one and then the other. I didn't even think of that, but that's what I just need is the present verb. Is the verb the present?
yeah. Is this the
That's a good
page?
grammar
Okay,
catch,
there.
Michelle.
Okay, so here,
Thank
sorry.
you.
So here, times C, abuse your children. Where your children was. Okay, did you change it to present tense? Did you change it to is, Michelle? Is that what we're testing, or what are you testing?
Yeah. Hang on, where your children were, it should be were.
Yeah.
So
So that's what I'm asking you. What did you change in the cut? What did you change? Oh, you didn't change it there. So wait, that may not be the right question. So once you
where
find
your
it, there's a few
children-
questions. There's a
it's the
few
second,
questions.
it's the second, let's see.
So if you get the question ID for that one, the first one you came to, then you can change
affidavit what
that to is and
include.
refresh.
This is affidavit what to include.
Uh-huh.
This is the second one down. Where your children, it should say were when C was
Yeah,
using it.
exactly.
But it says, instead it says was. I've lost it. Okay. As children
I'm not sure that's the right condition.
is.
That's not.
Oh, that's
I
not the
forgot.
right condition.
So
There's a few, because if
one
you see the
thing to-
plaintiff, plaintiff assistant, OBO.
one thing
So
to
there's
catch
another-
here is you don't want to indent with 4. Well, it's because if
It
you
is
switch
true.
back, you want to,
Yep.
with
The
that, at least with
judge-
the empty line between, that might be the issue. Maybe if there's no empty
I
line.
don't think so, Quentin. I think you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong if. Because if you go above, there's
see.
another did verb was
Or
there. I
was.
think that should be is.
Ah,
There's all
okay,
these
okay.
different permutations
yeah.
of the advocate. So
I'm
I
just
don't think you
also
need
going
to
to
worry
try to
about
make
that.
it a list.
All the bullets work. They were indented, nested bullets.
No, well, if
Well,
we switch back to
see-
the running one, it showed it as pre-formatted text.
It's
Oh, I
like
see there. I
code.
see. Gotcha. Oh,
Just
gotcha.
in that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And this is
Right.
not a list. Do you want this to be a list item?
It probably, yes.
Because
So I
there's
have to
no
say,
second list
I'll
item.
play around with the format, because
Okay.
Okay.
that most of it's
It was
just trying to
just
get the verb to work, and I can go back in. You're probably right about the indentations, but yeah, because there are these, I have to think about, there are the 3 things that the judge needs to know about. I mean, there's 3 things, so the judge should be a 3rd bullet, I think, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
have to go look at it again.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. So that looks like, oh, I'm so glad it's that easy. Oh my God.
Isn't it amazing?
Well, the thing
Sometimes
is
things
that,
don't have to be
sometimes you
hard.
think about it, you think,
Oh
there.
no, we still
Oh
have
no, it didn't
was.
work.
Should also know about.
It might be more did what. There might be another if in there somewhere. There's like
Maybe.
4 of these possibilities.
I should be able to find all the did verbs
Yeah.
theoretically. So
There it is.
Another one. Is
Right
that the
there.
same question? Yeah, try that one.
Well, this one isn't a list, so I don't think it's the same one. And it doesn't have its
Oh
affidavit
no, it's
details.
a different question. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
good
a different
point.
question.
So,
But you still probably want to change it either way.
yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
working yet. So 209 affidavit, what to include, and I believe that is the question we are on.
Yeah.
209 affidavit, what to include. Um,
And you saved the package, right?
saved. Oh, it's saved in both places. You're right. I have to save in both places. Gee, Charisma. Did I save in both places? You know what? Let me save one more time in both places.
I know.
It did not say saved. So,
No.
okay, there we go. Save. But it did save something because at some point, well, I'll
I
wait
think
for
the
it.
bullets were refreshed, at least. I think that's right.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be something that would be cached.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't think it would be.
You could try changing the word to something completely different.
Yeah.
Different verb.
Well, we could try just adding a word.
Adding
That's
a
true.
word.
Some
Yeah,
other
just add a
clue
word.
that the sentence changed. word two.
But we have to identify which of these ifs it is.
Well, that's why I'm saying word 1 and word 2.
Oh, I see. Are there 3 of them?
I thought there were only 2. Are there 3?
I think there's more.
This is the if of the top part, but that isn't.
Okay, if a plaintiff assistant,
Is that when there were no children? Oh, what is that type OBO?
okay, else in your affidavit, do your best to describe the times of it. So that's if you're filing for yourself. Okay. If plaintiff OBO and plaintiff has minor children, and then is word 1. Okay, and then if it's plaintiff has minor children and not plaintiff assistant, yeah, there are 2. I think there's 2, probably, yeah.
Steve. It
Did
is
you save the
interesting if
package?
it's still not working. It's just so weird. There we go. Now they're both saved. But I'm gonna guess that it won't work because I'm pretty sure it was. So we're in the second if statement. So at least we know that. Where your children was. You know what I'm gonna do? Children as noun. I'm gonna add something here. Well, when we don't need items, right? Elements rather. To start something beautiful. 0.
No children.
No children.
But isn't that weird? Because it's doing children instead of child.
Well, it is, but I think this defaults as noun defaults to the object, to the intrinsic name.
The value of it?
Yeah, and I don't believe that, I'm trying to think about it. I think that major children are not included in
That's right.
your list
They're
of
not-
children. So what you really need is also length, len children, and len children is greater than 0, right? And then you need another one if
Len children is the same as len children greater than
major
0.
children.
Just
Huh?
so you know. Len children is the same as len children greater than 0 in an if statement. They're both Boolean false.
I tend to prefer to be explicit, but we can change it if we want.
Did it not say length? Or I'm just saying like the change you made is more explicit, but it shouldn't change the behavior. Unless I missed something about what you typed.
But it doesn't count. It doesn't count them. There's nothing.
Empty list
counts
is also
them.
Boolean false.
Yes, I added len children. There wasn't a len children here before. I added all of this, so I don't.
Everything
understand.
starting with and. Okay.
Yeah.
I only saw the second part. I just wanted to make sure. If there didn't even mention children, then yes, that is adding context.
And then majors needing support. There, we could just do there are any also.
Not for target number variables. So len is the right thing to use there, I think.
So you need one for major children, right? And then if you want something for no children, then you want, a similar.
Well, we have the first 2 are no children.
The first
all.
2 are no children,
Right.
but they're not So
And major children needing support. I don't think we're doing major children needing support.
So what I'm saying is, if plaintiff assistant type OBO and plaintiff has minor children. So this is
Right.
if there are minor children, right?
That
This is
the children,
plaintiff.
so think of it this way.
This shouldn't.
Whatever the children variable is that triggers filling out page 2, that's what we want. So has major children needing support, those children needing support don't go on page 2.
So plaintiff has minor children should be false right now. So this word 2 shouldn't even be happening. So something is going wrong with plaintiff has minor children.
Why should it be false?
Because we said they didn't have any children. They only had major children.
Okay, that's
that
what
is
I'm
what
saying.
we said.
Okay, no, okay, right. So I thought that plaintiff has minor children is the variable that triggers filling out page 2 of the PDF. So I don't know what variable that is.
Let me take a look. I'm looking at the 209A package now.
Yeah, so that's where I may have the wrong, and that could just be what it is. I mean, that's not the only thing, but that's one of the things. I just wasn't sure which variables.
It is, but something is going on with what is defining. Okay, so these are both true. I mean, this is true and this is false. So this needs to be true and this needs to be false. So whatever they are currently, despite the fact that we only put in major children, it is true.
Plaintiff has minor children is the variable that triggers page 2.
Yep.
Right.
For sure.
And
So it doesn't matter.
not assigned in package. Do you know where it might be assigned? Maybe in page 1.
I'm just looking here. In page 1.
There we go. Plaintiff has children, parent of, or plaintiff has children, cares for.
Right. So that should be the right variable then.
Well, you might have said that you had children that you are the parent of, but then not provided any.
No, we said
we said
no to both.
Yeah.
So
can you look at the variables and see?
Sure. So this one will say true, and one of those will have to have said true. But they are misassigned because rewind this video and I will tell you that we said that we had no children, because I was surprised. So we didn't say we had any children until major children.
Until children, I don't know with this major children, I don't know where you get. What we said is they're not major children, they're children they're minor children that you're responsible for.
Okay, I'm gonna go back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can, you live in the same household.
This is what children you care for is. This is
right. These are the minor
not
children.
major children.
These are minor children you're responsible for.
I see. You're totally right. I apologize.
You can't have any children who were born in 2000 in the 1990s.
Yeah. I've heard that one. Don't say it too many times.
To be born last millennium to be children.
What am I missing?
It's a meme. It's a meme.
Oh.
It's a new meme.
Oh, I don't know the meme. It just I have been working with this form quite a lot. Every time I'm like, okay, choose a date, 2017 or later, and then I'll be safe if I try to.
children. So we have no children, we have children cares for. So I see, right,
Those are
because
still
children are
relevant, so-
only like children. So we would have to make possibly another if statement for children. Or
happens-
another variable for all of them
I
combined.
think there's one in there, Michelle. I really think there's one in there.
Okay, so
Bryce, are
we
you still
will-
on? Yeah.
He's-
I am
Bryce.
still yeah.
Didn't you just put in a patch where when you add to DA lists, it keeps the object type? Is that right?
Yes,
So
I think that's on the. I think
just in
that's
place, why
for
don't
the-
you do the evaluation of
we need
children-
children.
children cares for plus children dot as verb or as noun, I mean. There's no
Okay.
reason to make another variable because that I think this is, we just illustrated what happens when you try to use too many intermediate variables, I think, right?
Yes, I don't love
We
intermediate
couldn't find it.
variables.
So why don't we just do it in place evaluation?
Okay.
And yeah, so both of those places. And there's the other statement.
Okay. And
Length children.
you know what? Let's just try this
Okay,
and see how that
okay.
goes.
Is that the
Before we
second? Yeah.
Get too excited.
Oops.
So,
What is that
And
random intrinsic
but
name
we
there?
did go where your blah were.
that one works.
I see. You have to put the word children in quotes and then it will work
Okay,
because it's using the name of the object, which is a random instance name.
got it.
So
How did
inside
how
as
did you
noun.
over-
No,
how did-
no, not that. Wrong thing. Put it inside as a parameter to as noun. Yeah. Children. Well, doesn't matter. You could use children or child.
Okay,
How did I remember that?
yeah,
Well, I just recognized it as a random instance name.
all right. No. I'm just wondering, like, how do you know it's children, not child, or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter. I mean, we saw an example where it does matter. It has to be in the same past or present tense with did verb, but I know it doesn't matter for the now.
And was might not matter either, because this was 0 before. So it was
Problem
coming
maybe
out.
was
Oh, so
that-
it might have been okay with was if it was just the
Yeah.
right variable.
I'm gonna try that. I just want to see.
Are we?
Mhm.
I guess you'll have to change it in both branches to be sure, or you know which branch we're in.
I know where we're at. It's okay. Awesome.
Oh,
Still
yay.
works, and children.
Excellent.
But why did it work when we
Okay.
changed it from is to from was to is?
It didn't work. It changed into the singular, which I assume it's taking it changed into was. It said children was. So child
changed it,
was. So I
but it
assume that
wasn't the right
0 is
thing.
equal to 1. So 0 and 1 both get a singular verb, which doesn't work because I think 0 actually
Plural.
is supposed to get a
most.
plural verb, which we might want to file a bug. But I'm glad it was a bug, because otherwise this would have failed under a different circumstance and we wouldn't have known. Okay, so now let's put it into working order. Oh man, my fingers.
I gotta sign
are
off. I have a
numb.
meeting right
Okay.
at 2. But let
We'll
me see.
finish up here. I
I'm going to
should be okay.
sign
He's got to close the
Bryce
meeting.
as
'cause
the
he's
host. Bryce can be the host. It'll should be okay.
Bryce has got to go at 2 also, I think. Bryce, don't you have the UX thing? You guys both
Not
have
right
the
at
UX
2.
thing.
We don't have a meeting. That we sometimes have a meeting before the UX thing.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
going to be very hard to translate, though. I will say that.
All right, well, I'm gonna go. Bye. Al.
I'd take one.
I mean, I might, yeah, I
Yes, be
wish
very
you didn't
difficult to
have to
translate.
go because just because of the difficulty translating, I might do like an assignment, like, I mean, we're not going to do it here properly, but that says temp children, temp,
you want that percent sign in front of it?
Yeah, because it's not an actual.
affidavit to include
It's not an
Does this
actual
work?
what?
children. No,
I
this
actually
is
don't
not,
know.
this is not the right syntax. This is not the right
Oh.
syntax, but this is what I would do. And then I would like replace this so that people who are doing translation don't have to deal with as much noise.
Yeah, does Mako have that ability? That's actually
Yes,
interesting.
you
Oh,
can
neat,
you can
okay.
create you can assign values. I don't know what DocAssembly does with that. I don't know if it like can try and find the value of that variable or whatever. Like I don't know how
Oh, I
that
see.
happens.
Yeah.
So, but you are able to create variables in Mako. So we would want to know what that we would want to know what that syntax is, but really I'd want Quentin's eyes on making that kind of temporary variable because he's much more likely to know the knockoff effects
Mhm.
of, but just for us and our brains and our and what we're thinking about, I just want us to be aware that that is something to think about.
Well,
as
I
far
think
as-
we're trying to do, we're trying to get these done so that we can translate. And then Quentin's also converting the whole thing to the,
XLS.
no, to the assembly line. You know how he's moving it to, so it's not in virtual. I don't know. He's migrating, isn't it? So it fits into the new system, the new assembly line, right?
Yeah.
He's migrating the 209A. So we can talk to him about what we need to do about this piece for translation.
I think I've got all these correct. It's hard to see in here though. Oh, Igor, you are putting my arm to sleep completely. I can't use these fingers anymore. Oh man. Let's look for did verb. Let's just test this and then we will see about did verb. I actually want to put it at the ends, not the beginnings for now. Oh, moved. Thank God.
Oh,
Did I include that in there somewhere?
must be in there somewhere. I think it's 2 places. There it is.
Oh.
167, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's a song. Oh man. Okay. I think I know the syntax actually. Or when. Okay. So that's good. And so now we can put that elsewhere. I'm not sure we can do nested markdown in here. That's something to look up, is nested list. PHP markdown extra. Sorry, I shouldn't be list. Syntax list.
I think I missed why you're looking this up.
Because this is a nested list and I'm trying to find out if we can do a nested list. And it doesn't show any nested lists, so I assume we can't do nested lists. Have you done a nested list before in here, Caroline?
Are you just talking with Mako, or are you talking with variables?
With Markdown.
I mean, yeah, I have.
So visually.
Yeah. I think it might even be in the, I've definitely done it before, and you need an extra space and all that kind of stuff. You can definitely do it. That's why I had that extra space before. I mean, maybe it did formatting, but
you might want to put a new line.
Yeah.
New lines sometimes change how Markdown's
Yeah.
But that would make it a separate list? Okay.
No, it is.
I just want to make a PR without like breaking. When I make the PR or when I make the commit, I don't want it to be like worse off than.
Yeah, I know. I see what you're saying.
Visually. So this is
no. It's always tricky. I always have problems with nested lists, but I've done them many times.
Okay.
I just have to
go.
go.
I'll
I
play
always
with
have to
it
go back and play with
afterwards.
them.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I
okay.
think the Teaching Tuesday might be over. You might be able to stop recording, and we'll just finish cleaning this up. I don't know if anybody is going to be fascinated by.
No, figuring out how to do a nested list. Right.
That's fair. The only
But
thing I saw, I was gonna say the only thing I was able to read up is you need 4 spaces, I think. Like, I don't know if 2 works.
I tried before. We tried 4, and it made code. So
you tried 4 indents. Oh yeah.
There we go. Children as noun. Children as noun. This is also supposed to be